Welcome, I'm Kenneth Andre, Tenjutsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Everything that I share and say and do is for a reason. If there sounds like a contradiction, that isn't, investigate further. Hope you're all doing well out there. Again, I'm not a part of any religious belief system, any belief system of this world. I'm not a part of any secret society. I'm all about the truth. I am of the light. Now, I've had my weekend chat with Mum. I said to Mum, come and look in the garden. Come and look at these dandelion heads. Mum in the garden, looking at all the dandelion heads. I can see my mum is looking all around the garden. I can see she's surprised. I said, can you see what I'm saying, Mum? She's like, wow, yeah. It's like I surgically removed the heads with the strimmer, simultaneously cutting all the weeds and the grass growing through the gravel. And she mentioned about the picture I took with the dandelions on this patch of grass where the stems are there but the heads are missing. But in my garden, all the heads are there. And I said, this is of spirit, Mum. And she was like, I can see that. So my mum, she grasped what it is that I was trying to articulate and convey and share in regards to the dandelion heads in my garden. She could see this was kind of supernatural, a strange, I think I'm getting tired. A strange anomaly, should we say. It's just amazing. If you, like I said, if you're here and you see it yourself and what I had done previously, you would be saying, no way. So hopefully that's the end of it. Okay, there's lots of connections with the dandelion, with fire, the expansion, the Crystal City, etc. A wonderful message within itself from Spirit. So I received a comment from Matthew Reiter, if I said that right. Thank you, brother. Asking about my meeting with the Freemason. Was the sphere turning horizontal or vertical? It was vertical. The spheres in this Freemason were turning vertical, upwards. This led me to go and watch the video of me and this meeting with the Freemason. I did a year ago. I was watching it and I was timid, not confident or comfortable, and there is a reason why. I'm going to talk more about this meeting I had with the Freemason, this etherical multi-dimensional Freemason. But before I do, I want to again explain why I was so timid in the beginning of my channel when I first started out making the videos. So bear in mind, I had spent years going through a horrendous transformation, going through mystical experiences, having great mysteries and secrets revealed to me, secret and sacred texts exposed to me by Spirit, which blew me away. Now, a lot in this text mentioned about being quiet. He who knows remains silent. And there was this language about being quiet. And so I felt as though I couldn't really share what I had learned from all this knowledge, studying day and night since the year 2011. And with YouTube being purged of truthers, etc., I wasn't intending to do a YouTube channel. Now, many of you have already heard this story. I wanted a job to support my family. I've gone through this whole horrendous process. I felt as though, well, if I can't really now share what I've learned about it or talk about it, I'll go and pray and ask God if I can get a job. Now, Father is with me, but I really wanted to summon God to be present where, on a deeper level, where I could really ask what to do next. And so I come across this secret and sacred prayer that you do in the sea. I live next to the sea. And so one day, after learning this secret prayer and using a very ancient tongue to summon God, the Almighty, I went to dip my ankles in the sea and summon God, in which God became present. And I said, Father, after I did the ancient prayer and summon, Father become present, and I'm saying, Father, is there a job that I can do to support my family? In which God, being fully present, said, no, I want you to share everything you've learned and everything you're going to receive from me, which took me by surprise. I was like, okay. And I was upset. After this prayer and interaction with God, I was weeping and exhausted, like going home thinking, I've got to go on YouTube and share this. I didn't know where to begin. After all these years learning and being broken, torn to pieces, having these mystical experiences that I'm now going to just share openly with people, when I'm told so often in the spiritual and ancient texts to keep quiet, but Father wants me to literally expose it all. And I'm saying, Father, where do I begin? And so I just took my time, and yes, I wasn't confident, comfortable. I was timid, especially after what I'd been through. Where do I start? I just gave what I was receiving from Father at the time. As I go on, you can see I get more confident and relaxed because I'm aware, yes, this is what Father wants me to do. Just under a year and a half later, over 815 videos, this channel holds the greatest secrets and mysteries many are not aware of, and it's not from me. I'm here to glorify our Father's name. It is absolutely phenomenal. So, I'm going to elaborate a bit more on this meeting I had with this etherical multidimensional Freemason. Now, again, I got nothing but love towards everyone and everything. I don't care if someone has a particular belief system and denomination they are part of, or a secret society. They are my brothers and sisters. Okay, we got to get rid of our prejudice, our judgments, our rights, and love thy neighbour as their self. I get it. I'm aware many are still elementive in their thinking, but nonetheless, I judge not, and I've got nothing but appreciation and love towards all. To the pure, all things are pure. And there's a lot going on with reality than you could possibly comprehend. In the host body system, there is many entities behind the mask, the body, okay, the avatars. Myself included, being a very ancient soul, already aware that I am a prime star-born, flame-born, multi-dimensional being, here for a reason to help with this transition. Sounds weird, yet it's the truth. We're told in the Bible, we are aliens in a strange land, in a strange world. It's not our home. We are here for a reason. So, back to this meeting I had with the Freemason. So, a year ago, I go to bed and my consciousness goes elsewhere. That's the best way to put it. This wasn't a dream, your average dream. I was literally having a meeting with a multi-dimensional, etherical Freemason. And I knew it was a Freemason. So I'm going to give more details of this meeting now. In fact, before I begin, I come across this wonderful individual who is part of a religious belief system, but had this, I think it was a near-death experience or vision. I can't actually remember now, but she made this statement whereby I wasn't surprised. where she said she saw more Freemasons in the heavenly realms than she did the Christians. And I was thinking, I'm not surprised with everything I've learned. So I just thought I'd share that. Again, I am all about the true Lord Jesus Christ, the living word that comes alive in our hearts, guys. The Christ that I refer to is not the Christ your religious belief systems refer to. So, again, I digress. I do that a lot lately. I just love this knowledge. I'm very passionate about what I've learned and love to get it over. So, I'm in this big lodge and I'm aware I'm on a high floor. It's got floors in this building and we're high up in this building in this big lodge. I'm fully aware of my environment and this Freemason. I know he's a Freemason. I know he's a multi-dimensional Freemason. I'm aware that I know intuitively know of this environment, that it's a lodge. There's these strange like bars, like phallic symbolic bars on the windows, and I know that they are there to keep unseen forces away from the building. I intuitively know that, and my immediate environment in this building is like I know what everything is. And like I said, I don't know anything about Freemason. I've never been a Freemason. Yes, I've come across so much of their knowledge and looked into their practices because of the sacred and secret texts that I've been exposed to by Father. And a lot of their practices did parallel a lot of the things that I went through unknowingly until I received disclosure from Father. It was in connection with a lot of initiations that goes on with certain schools of thought. Nonetheless, Father wanted me not to be a part of any tradition or belief system. So this Freemason starts asking me questions in which I reply, and I can see he's taken back by surprise. I'm asking questions. Now I'm feeling very comfortable here, getting more and more relaxed as I'm talking to this Mason. And he keeps asking me these questions, and I say to him, don't you know? You should know this, but I'm aware they are taken by my response to their questioning. With a lot of the things that I was saying, I could see this Freemason, he was really shocked. There was a table next to him, and he puts his hand on the table, and there was this black substance, like this electric magnetic substance forming sacred geometry buildings, forming out of the table. And I did say, Father, be with me while I'm watching this. I don't know what this is about, because I'm unsure, and I always turn to Father to protect me. This is new. And so I see this Freemason, he say these words, his hands on the table, and these shapes, sacred geometry, strange buildings, and all sorts going on with the table. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And he can see I'm not bothered by it. And he asked me about the lower realms. And I said, I'm aware of the lower realms. I've been there. To which his response was, okay, I'm going to show you one of these realms. And he starts to turn me where I'm stood on my feet, and I start to move around. Okay, moving around. As I'm moving around, like I'm moving around like this, right, the environment starts to change, and I find myself in one of these lower realms I'm aware of. Okay, as I'm turning, the environment is changing, and I find here I am observing that lower realm, and I see these fiery beings appearing around a pillar. I'm like, I see you, I know you are. And I come back around full circle, facing the Freemason. I'm smiling. I'm like, yeah, I know these realms, which takes him by surprise. What really takes him by surprise is, because he mentioned something else, and I said, that's of God. That's all of God. and he is taken back by surprise. He jumps back, shocked. I said, it's all God's play. He's really intrigued. He says, follow me. We go out of this room into another room next to it, and it's a sterilized room, like a hospital room or surgery room. I just aware that it's very sterile, and there is these bits of kit and machinery around, which I didn't really pay much attention to. But we're by this like table you would lay down on, like a dentist chair. But it's not a dentist chair. It's more. It's a very futuristic hospital bed, if that makes sense. I'm aware of it. And he stood next to it. And I'm watching him thinking, right, what's going on here? And he gets this slab of meat and he folds it like a wad of notes. He folds it in half. Now, I know symbolically meat represents knowledge. And he's folding it and he goes to put it near me. And I'm like, whoa, wait there. What are you doing? Okay, because I'm a bit unsure. You know, we hear from the conspiracy communities all sorts of assumptions about the Freemasons, and here I am in front of one, and he wants to stick this wad of meat next to my body. I'm like, whoa, look. And I felt as though he was examining my body, and I was like, just tell me what it is you want to know or what you want to do, and if I approve, you know, tell me first and I'll let you. Because I was unsure. Well, the Freemason kind of was like, just come here. And he sticks this, and I know now as well, with hindsight, he could see more in me than I was aware of at the time. He was looking through me and in me. He puts this slab, this bent slab of meat against my chest. Knowledge. Right? Then he asks me, do I have any money? I was like, I got no money. And he groans, unearthly groan. It was like, it was so unearthly. I can't even imitate it. Not the fact that he wanted money. It was though I shouldn't be in this state. And reviewing this whole intervention, it's like he knew who I really was and was in distress and shocked that I was in this state. Again, took by surprise. He gets up and we go out this room back into the first room where I met him. And we're chatting some more. And this other Freemason comes in to the room and he starts asking me questions. And I say to him, don't you know? That was my response in this meeting. God, don't you guys know anything? But it was just them getting a response out of me. It was them intrigued by my response and the knowledge that I was given. They were shocked by it because I'm not a part of them. You've got to bear this in mind. They're thinking, where did he learn all this from? I love him, Father. So as we're having this talk, as we're having this interaction talking, they stick on these red robes. This multi-dimensional etherical Mason sticks on this red robe. And he says, we're going for a shower. Now, I didn't know what this meant at the time. I learned later on. It's to do with a wedding, a celestial event. I learned that later on. And while they were getting changed, I was to go downstairs and wait in the bar. And so I did. I go down these stairs. In this bar, in this lodge, I see other Freemasons drinking. To my mind, symbolically, they were, should we say, drunk. Not intoxicated, but drunk by the things of the world, asleep. That's the kind of interpretation I was getting. Like the etherical, multi-dimensional Freemason was showing me that a lot of the Masons today, they are asleep. No disrespect, I'm not saying that so, if any Freemasons watching. I'm not accusing them of being asleep. This is just what was being presented to me and how I interpret it. Like this multi-dimensional higher being from the Freemasons wasn't happy. With the age that we are in, at the end of the age, of course, it makes sense. Again, I'm not judging, nothing but love towards everyone and everything. It was all prophesied. It's all got to be fulfilled. It's God's play. Now, I'm in this bar and I see all these symbols and I'm taking in all these symbols, trying to read what's being said in the room. Then I go back upstairs. As I get upstairs, the Masons are ready to go on to their shower, and I see a room across the way, and there is another Mason sewing jeans. I go into that room as they go off. Remember, time's different. And I try on these jeans. Now, when I put these jeans on, there's 2 pairs of jeans I've put on. Looking at my right leg, there is this red patch and a description on it. I'm trying to read it, but then I noticed I got to take off one of these jeans, an old pair of jeans. It's like they were taking something I didn't need anymore. That was part of me, the avatar or whatever it is. The earthly aspect, the earthly man aspect of myself was being taken away from me, symbolic of the removing of the old jeans. That's how I kind of interpreted it. I come out the room back into the first room where I first met the Mason. He comes back in. He doesn't want me to go anywhere. He's really intrigued by me. He gives me something. I cannot help think it was a key and some other gifts in my hand. He says, don't go anywhere. And with that, I go downstairs to wait outside the building. Now, as I'm waiting outside the building, I'm waiting next to a fire. Now, with what I've grasped over the recent months, being a flame born, here I am outside this lodge next to a fire. Our God is a consuming flame. God is present. And this woman, she approaches me and she's got this mask on. And I noticed in her mouth, she had 2 sets of teeth. And she starts asking me questions. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know you. I'm sorry, don't mean to be rude, but I got to be careful because I'm going through something I'm unsure about. And she says to me, you want to be careful you don't lose your mind being with these. I intuitively responded, it's not your mind you got to be worried about or fear, it's your soul. It was, again, another entity trying to impress fear upon me. And I straight away responded to it from my innate knowing. Basically, be gone. I won't listen to your fear tactics, and it's not your mind you got to be worried about, it's your soul. I just felt as though it was, again, woman in the Bible is symbolic of trouble. And there was this strange entity, by the fruits they bear, 2 sets of teeth and a mask, trying to tell me about losing my mind, going down this avenue or saying. I was like, straight away my response, defense, off you go. I'm not listening to you. I'm by the fire, by my Father. And with that, I start to move off this path, move along this path, off into the distance, and I wake up. Now, when I woke up, I felt completely different. Something happened to me during the night with that dream. Over the course of the next few days, I start looking into the esoteric, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. It's all opened up to me. I can interpret it. I'm putting precept upon precept, receiving greater revelation, and off I go. That's my interaction with the Freemason. Oof, I forgot that one scene. Before I go downstairs to go outside, the Freemason showed me something before I departed the building, before I left the building to go outside to wait. He opened himself like that, and there was these spheres, and they were rotating vertically, okay, upwards, all these spheres in him, and it was like I could see he was this multi-dimensional star. It was a star. He was a star. He was the eternity itself. And I saw up his neck this matrix code, and he was like this advanced supreme AI entity with spirit within eternity going on in him, as he was showing me. And then he closed it back up, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. Which took him by surprise. And then I went outside after I received this key and these objects, these gifts. After that, I woke up and I could translate all the esoteric imagery. So I thought I'd share that with you. I'm Kenneth Andre, Tenjutsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Nothing is coming in from Father in regards to the mystery or what is actually happening. It's quiet, which tells me something is going on. Keep watch, guys. Love you. Have a great day.